All right, so we're back here, and then we're continuing our ninth annual Couch Coach Live NFL preview. Tonight, we'll be talking about the Buffalo Bills, the pride of Western New York. So we got our guy Derek, aka Easy D, from the now. This is a tongue twister now. Hats, tats, and stats.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if I said that three times, I would, if I could say it three times, I would, that would be a huge accomplishment in my life.
Yeah, we when I planned the name on that, I was going for describing our hosting group and didn't think of how well it would roll off the tongue. And actually, one of my co-hosts actually ran an episode of the show, and he called it "Stats, Tats, and Hats" or something like that. I was like, "Dude, you said the name wrong."
Right. But yeah, so we definitely tonight we're gonna be talking about the Buffalo Bills. Very interesting offseason, obviously I think off the top of my head, guys, especially the acquiring Von Miller, other situations that's been going on, other acquisitions. So what is your outlook? Well, not outlook, but more so your thoughts on the offseason, and who do you deem as the team's biggest acquisition?
I mean, Von Miller's got to be it. I mean, we talk on our show all the time, dialing back to way back the 2018. I think it was episode 1. We talked about the Bears getting Khalil Mack and how that's a move you make when you're one piece away, and they weren't. And that was a big talking point for us for a while. This is a move the Bills made, and I think everyone around them said they're one piece away. The biggest thing that they were missing was consistent pressure. We had a lot of pass rushers that had good win rates, but didn't hit home. They'd beat their blocks, they'd rush the quarterback, they'd hurry him up, made our secondary look really good, but they wouldn't hit home. And you look at the teams that ended up at the end of the road, both teams in the Super Bowl had guys that hit home. Aaron Donald, Hendrickson. I mean, these guys they're beasts. And if not for Aaron Donald getting pressure in Burrow's face, we're talking about a Bengals Super Bowl team. That play, I mean, Jamar Chase had Jalen Ramsey cooked, and Burrow didn't have a chance to get the ball off because of the pass rush. And that's what the Bills needed. That was the one thing that, when you're facing guys like Mahomes, when you're facing these top tier upper echelon quarterbacks, at the end of the day, at the end of the season, you need guys who can hit home. And Von Miller is that guy, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. This dude, he's just different. And I think what he's going to do the stats are going to be there, right? He's Von Miller, but he's going to make Ed Oliver that much better. He's going to make guys like Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, our entire defensive line look better. And then we added to it as well, replacing guys like Star Latulele with a guy like Tim Settle. And I don't know if you saw some of the highlights. Tim Settle looked like a beast. I mean, my man was putting I can't think of the guy's name for the Colts. The big, their big offensive lineman, Quentin Nelson. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, he ragdolled him like 2 or 3 times, and that's an accomplishment because that dude is tough. He's one of my favorite guys to watch play the game. As a former offensive lineman, I'm watching that dude going, "Oh, you're gonna get ripped at film session, man! Like you are gonna get tore up for that rep."
Yeah, as a Commanders fan, yeah, losing Tim Settle was really rough. But yeah, he's definitely at a good place. Definitely, you guys are gonna love Tim Settle. Tim Settle, he's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him. I would put him as a very close potential number 2, but Von Miller's. When you're talking about a talent like that, it's hard not to be the biggest acquisition.
Big time. So, and I guess we all essentially know somewhat the biggest storyline heading to the season, but in your POV, what do you deem as the team's biggest storyline heading to the season?
Can the Bills run the football a little bit better? Now, I am not the Bills need to draft a running back in the first round guy. I am not the Bills need to go get a big splash guy, a big splash running back move. I'm not that guy. I am find value in the 3rd and 4th round. Have these guys come in 4 or 5 years and then just keep recycling through the crop in the draft. We all know that there's a big drop off after 26 years old for most guys. So keeping them much past that, paying them doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But this James Cook, man, kid's explosive. And he's that value with where we took him, and I'm okay with best player available in the 2nd round. Sure, I'm in. So that's going to be a big one is can they balance with, because really what using a running back is going to do is keep Josh Allen healthy. Every time I love watching the man run the football, he does absolutely electric things. But every time, get my, my butthole puckers a little bit like, ooh, don't blow a knee. Don't blow a knee, because that's our season. That dude goes down. That's the year. So on the other side of it, can Tremaine Edmonds shine this year? The last 2-3 years, he's gotten beat up. Our interior defensive line hasn't been great. They came on strong last year, and he looked better, a little bit better on the stretch, but he takes a lot of heat. He's a young, talented player, but he takes a lot of heat for not being really, when you take heat for not being Devin White, not a lot of people are. But when you're built to that level, those are the two big ones for me.
Yeah, big time. So I know we just alluded to earlier as far as this Josh-led offense. Your outlook on this team's offense and just your overall thoughts on the offense.
I am excited. I am pumped. I think this offense clicks on a completely different level. I think there are teams that can kind of come close. You're going to see an entire team click the way Burrow and Chase do. Those dudes played together forever. Diggs and Allen are best friends. They hang out, off the field all the time. They play Call of Duty together regularly. Gabe Davis coming into his own. I mean, we're talking about a team that could be potentially cutting guys that get signed to start on other teams out of the wide receiver room. That's scary. When you talk your top three being Diggs, Davis, and then probably Isaiah McKenzie, they got a young crop of dudes that they were excited about. Isaiah Hodgins, who looked really good the other day. They drafted another young kid. Was that Khalil Alam, I believe it was? Or no, he's the corner. I'm blanking on names. Sorry, it's a little long day for me, but
yeah.
I mean, there's so many. It's hard. I'm looking at a guy like Jake Kumro, who Aaron Rodgers would love to have back on the Packers, and he's a special teamer for us. And keep putting the football on the ground. You're getting cut. Like McDermott, don't play with that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the other side of the ball. I know you talked. We talked about the offense. Outlook on this defense and overall thoughts.
This defense is going to be scary, man. They were very quietly and possibly slightly overrated as one of the top, if not the top defense in the league last year. I don't think there's going to be anything under or overrated about them. I think they're going to come as advertised. They're big. They're fast. I think our second stringers could potentially be a top 15 unit in the NFL. I mean, the way they showed against the Colts top string minus Jonathan Taylor, I mean, these dudes could be legitimately a middle of the pack defense just as their second stringers. And that scares me. That scares me in a good way as a fan. It should scare a lot of people in a lot of other ways if you're not rooting for Bills Mafia.
Big time. And so obviously when the schedule was released in May, I know there's got to be some games that you have circled on the calendar. So any games in particular that you got circled on the calendar for this Buffalo Bills team?
Day one, game one. What better test than going up against the reigning, and doing my best Paul Heyman impression here, the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions in the Rams. And then I want Miami, and I want them now because I'm tired of hearing them talk. I'm tired of hearing all the Tua talk. I'm tired of hearing how the Bills are falling apart and it's not our division anymore and we're crumbling at the seams because it ain't happening. And I want Miami because I want Miami Twitter to just kind of chill, just kind of settle down a little bit.
Totally understand that as well. So they're gonna ask you the $60 million question. So in 2022, the Buffalo Bills will finish.
I want to say 15-2. I really, really do. But I don't want to say that because that's my fandom talking too. 13-14 wins, I don't think is out of the realm. 14, I think would be, it's about where we expect. This team is built to win. They're built to win it now. They're Super Bowl favorites for a reason. Josh Allen is an MVP favorite for a reason. This team is built to win. And I think less than 13 is going to be a disappointment.
Yeah. And I know I don't ask this question, but Normally we just let it flow. Y'all going to Arizona in February? What you think?
Listen, we've been going to the Super Bowl every year since I've been alive, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm hoping this is the year, right?
Yeah.
Well, so okay, so I was alive for the back to back, but that's 4 losses. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, it's all good. Hey, I just
A
wanted
lot
to
of
say,
trauma there.
just see, because I know a lot of people. Obviously I had a Ram when I did the Rams preview. They pretty much not to miss their words, but hey, pretty much pack your bags. We're going to Arizona in the second week of February. So I just wanted to see if anyone else kind of was chomping at the bit to
Yeah,
make those declarations
you
in
have to
August.
be.
So
You
yeah,
have to be. This entire everything we've done since they drafted Josh has been this, right? It's been to get to
yeah,
this point. We're there, man. It's Super Bowl or bust. AFC Championship, not good enough anymore. The big game, or it's a bad, or we failed, and that's the end of it. We're going to the Super Bowl. One of my co-hosts, the Super Bowl is on his birthday, so the Bills going to Arizona. We're getting a Super Bowl W on my boy's birthday.
wow. Yes, indeed, and there will be a party on Niagara Falls.
Oh,
In
there
in,
won't be
in
there won't be a table unbroken in sight.
Oh goodness, yes. Get your tables. Get your tables. Pre-order your tables because there's gonna be a table shortage, not just in Western New York, but all over across the world. But yeah,
Absolutely.
once again, definitely I appreciate you for coming on. So before we conclude the preview, tell them where they can find you social media wise, and then the upcoming project what you got going on.
Awesome. So you guys can catch me and my boys on Stats and Stats Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Good Pods, pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts from. You can find us on social media. Type in HatsTatsStats and Stats Podcast. I promise we're the only thing that shows up. And then on Instagram and Twitter at HTS_pod. That's all us. It's where all of our content goes. We post our new episodes, links to everything we do, and we post different fun takes. One of my current pet projects is I'm doing the worst take of the week, the worst thing I hear any just general person tell me, up to and including football, all sports. The last one I believe was that to win MVP, your team has to win the championship, and if your team doesn't win the championship, you don't deserve the MVP because you weren't good enough. So that's a lot of interesting takes on those. I take a lot of things I hear from friends at work and stuff, and make graphics out of it, and just something to keep the conversation going. So on all of them, HatsTats and Stats, part of the BICBP radio network. I love the guys over there. There's like 30 some odd podcasts about literally anything and everything on the network. You can check them out, bicbp-radio.com.
Yes, indeed. Once again, appreciate you previewing the Buffalo Bills because no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. So,
Absolutely.
once again, definitely appreciate you. And once again, this concludes the Buffalo Bills preview, and we'll catch you guys on the next team. And we're out.